I mean, I'll move it back the other way when we're chatting on the video. Um, Hey, Michael.
How's it going, Phil?
Oh, good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks for joining today. And I want to chat about the session proposal that you um, proposed for this year's roundtable session. Adam and I thought it was really great.
Yeah.
So explain it. Well, introduce yourself. What do you do? Where are
So,
you? Yeah, where are you?
boy, who am I? Michael Freiert. I'm currently the digital design content coordinator for HGA. I've
Yeah.
been in what we call classical BIM management for the last couple
Mhm.
of decades. Um, at a variety of firms, some at a firm for a number of years, some consulting, but doing a lot of getting BIM to work, getting it all to work for the end user sort of stuff. And without going into the shaggy dog story of how I got there and all that sort of stuff, something that you mentioned actually some years back to me, and is in the like list of things that I wish I had written down when you said them, um, was about people wanting to hear your message. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and because we were chatting, because I was struggling with that at the firm I was at the time, and that sort of got me thinking about this. And
Oh, okay.
I was so this has been mulling in my head for a number of years, and then shortly thereafter, like within a year or so, I was in a speaking class on it was a the most of the firm got sent to this class with this great storyteller about how to better communicate. Um, and hello, hi,
That's Mr. Hilton.
hi,
Sorry.
Michael.
He's very skittish. He never does this.
I used to have a very handsome black kitty like that.
Yeah.
Um, and the instructor there used a term that I'm going to mangle, but it was willing listeners.
Hmm.
And the idea that um, it doesn't matter if what you're saying is amazing if the audience doesn't care to hear it.
Right.
And then, like, another year passed, and someone else said something very similar about people need to want to hear what you're saying.
Which ties into the title of what's the official title?
I
It
don't remember. It was so much more of a concept
was
of
like engaging willing listeners. Like how
no,
to engage. Oh no, engaging
engaging
unwilling.
unwilling listeners, and
Yeah.
looking to find those ways to either figure out why someone doesn't want to hear you, or to give them a hook to pull them into your story.
Right.
And finding those, because so often in um, architecture writ large, right? Whether that's BIM management or whether that's client engagement, um, someone doesn't want to hear a message.
Right.
And whether that's a value proposition, whether that's selling someone on a new tech, whether that's someone selling someone on uh, an improved workflow, or even just a fix to a current thing. People don't want to. They don't want to. Change is hard, right?
Mm.
Change is something we all struggle with, and finding ways to engage people who don't want to talk about something, and in a way that is non-threatening, in a way that uh,
Yeah.
involves them.
Look, in my experience, I can get excited about something and then, the extrovert takes over and I realize maybe this is not what anyone else is interested in. It's a struggle. So it's
Yeah,
like checking my empathy levels. There's a lot of psychology of this. I think there's a lot of um, understanding the other person's motivation, uh,
yeah, exactly.
crafting a message that will appeal to what's important to them. Are they? Is it important for them? Do they want to save money? Do they want to save time? Do they want status? Like,
And
what are they? Do
so
they
many
trust
often,
me?
yeah,
Like, am I telling something to someone that doesn't trust what I'm saying? They don't trust my experience. there's a lot going into this.
Oh yeah,
So it's been mulling in your head for a while. Hello,
yeah,
Mister.
and like one of the things that I'm most excited about talking about it at Acoustics is it's not something that has one solution, right?
Right,
This
right,
is
right,
this
right.
is not one of those problems that, oh, you just do that. This is not
Yeah,
a
there's not a magic button.
and the types of folks who were there last year are exactly the sort of folks who are going to have thought about it and have parts of answers.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the group of us will come up with an answer that we wouldn't have come up with individually
Right.
because of the ideas that get sparked. You're really, asking someone to change their behavior is not a trivial thing.
Right. No,
And
it's
that's kind of
not.
what we're trying to do, whether we're asking people, hey, you need more training, or we need to invest some money, or we need to set aside some time and resources. You're really asking people to change behavior. And maybe it's easier when you have buy-in, when you have a champion from on high going, hey, we have to do this. But when you're trying to communicate up and get resources and time and buy-in,
I,
building that trust
there,
is
there,
it's
there
not
was
trivial.
a roundtable some years back at another conference that came after this amazing presentation from a well-renowned industry leader. I'm not going to name names, but they gave this amazing presentation, and everyone in the room was just stoked to ask them questions.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, you are a firm leader. You are a partner at your firm. You say this top down, and it's awesome, and it's all what we all want to do. But how do you explain that to your peers? How we telling you us lowly BIM managers telling our bosses that we need to do these things. How do you explain that? And they're like, oh well, it's obvious. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yes, you're preaching to the choir. It is
Yeah,
obvious,
so yeah, to us it's obvious, but
but
we're trying to communicate to someone where it's not obvious.
uh,
So
and the conversation just went south from there because suddenly the pure piece of wisdom that we had all come to hear turned out to be, well, duh, and we're like, no, that doesn't
yeah,
work.
that's a critical piece. Yeah, getting to that end condition, we got to figure out the steps along the way.
Yeah, and
And we don't often do that. We get excited about the end product. Oh, we got to do this. What end product? Well, how are we going to get there? Like, how much money? Software
and
is cheap. Asking people to change behavior is like
right,
expensive.
right. Well,
So
the software implementation, the software itself
yeah,
is candy compared to like the hundreds of hours. If you got 20 people, that's thousands of dollars
right, 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 right.
just to give them a 1 hour
Yeah,
webinar,
right.
right? Like
So
that's a
you better make
million
it
bucks.
worth it.
So you got to make it worth it. And the software's, yeah, it's expensive, but it's not that bad in the grand scheme of shifting all of these other pieces. Not even just like the person who's implementing it and getting all the back end set up. It's a problem that people realize, and they don't want to change. But at the same time, if we don't change, if we don't grow, if we don't build, we get stuck.
Right.
And we're not innovating. We're not doing all sorts of crazy new stuff, and we're not finding new efficiencies. So we're doing we
Yeah, you're not growing.
yeah
You're
we
just
got the
kind of
same old routine.
doing the same thing. So this is your second year. You came last
Yep,
year.
yep,
And give me from an outsider, look, I kind of in line with the topic is
yep,
I'm biased. I
yep.
like going to a rustic place and having access to watercraft and getting some sunlight in the afternoon and having good meals. But that's kind of my bias. What do you like about it? What does it appeal?
Oh, I mean,
How does
it's
it appeal to you? What's the
I mean, you just listed off a bunch of like my favorite pieces of it. I love fine dining, right? I adore going to a fancy restaurant. If I'm going to a conference, I'm like, oh
It's not a
man,
fancy restaurant.
but it's good food.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
um,
an unfancy restaurant, but really good food. Yeah.
yeah. But like, if I'm going to pick a conference, I'm not going there because I'm gonna get amazing canapes or great sushi or something like that. Like it's nice to have those meals,
Mm,
but what I'm going there is for the experience with the other people. What I'm going to learn there,
right, right,
the thought processes, the intellectual curiosity and queries, and like sitting down by the lake with other folks and chatting about whatever, like not having the formalness of there's the hotel uh, notepad with the hotel clicky pen that added $50 to the cost of the conference.
right.
um, like no, it's just you're sitting there. There's no pretension. It's not a you know we had firm leaders, directors, random folks. I'm not they weren't the
Yeah,
in the
people that
area,
are well known in the industry, people that may not be well known in
exactly.
the industry.
But everybody was talking to each other like peers there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the it didn't
There's a lot of
matter.
respect.
It didn't matter if someone was a decades in or just a few years in. The people were all wanting to hear what everybody else had to say. They all wanted
Right,
to uh, not only contribute but learn from each other. It's very much an environment of uh, intellectual curiosity and trying to find solutions. And there weren't I didn't run into any like, oh no, you're wrong. There were some like, I've got a different take on that. Like I've seen
yeah.
different things, but it was much more of a learning from each other and being excited about that intellectual curiosity. Um, in many ways, the exact opposite of what I'm what I'm going to talk about, right? Because like it's
No, we're trying to motivate people to change their behavior. It's hard,
right,
and just being excited about it
yeah. So like
isn't going to make it happen. We have to
right,
find out the subtleties of that communication.
exactly. Like
And I think some of the people that came last year are in software development. Some of them are in consulting. Um, I think one person who was in software development even mentioned that when their product roadmap changes, it like affects their heart, like they get sad, you can't do anything about it. So
uh,
it's a great
like,
topic, and I'm
that,
looking forward to getting that feedback from everyone.
yeah, and it's
Um,
yeah. I'm
yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm super
beautiful.
excited. It's
So dates April 27th to May 2nd.
I think so.
Arrive Sunday. We'll go for a river trip on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday sessions, afternoons from 3 to 5 open.
Yep.
And we've got a couple of evening sessions we'll do this year. And then go home Friday, have breakfast, see you next year. This is great, Michael. Thanks for explaining the context of what you wanted to accomplish at
Yeah,
this
of
year's
course.
roundtable event. And there you go. Reach out anytime, buddy. See you
Hey,
soon.
it's always good
Like
to chat with you.
about 8 weeks away.
It's that soon already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Right around the corner. We'll get you in some warm weather. I think it's a little chilly where
Sounds
you
good. I
are
mean,
today.
it's warmed up to 60 here today. It's beautiful.
Oh, good. It's kilt weather.
It's always kilt weather, man.
Thanks,
Well,
Mike.
like,
Take
take
care,
care, man.
buddy.
Bye.
Bye. There you go.
There we go. Nice.
Yeah. What is that?